Hey, Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good Monday, y'all. In today's video, we got some creepy and strange TikToks that's going to make you question everything. A lot of new incidents with this plane coming, some new recordings, some flashbacks that's starting to make sense now. Let's get into it. Sit back, relax, leave that like, and enjoy the show.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not.
Okay, do y'all remember that lady on the airplane that was like, but I am telling you right now, that motherfucker right there is not real. Whatever she saw, I believe it. Whatever she saw on that plane, I believe her now. Because that...
Did anyone find anything odd about the plane crash on Flight 5342? Keep watching.
On board Flight 5342, Wichita native Kia Duggins graduated from Harvard Law, interned for Michelle Obama, and a civil rights attorney, was described as a force for good.
So, after doing some research, I found that social capital directly influences the amount of diverse representation that we see. Put simply, social capital is connections to people who can give you access to the institutions and the information that you need for social mobility. Unfortunately, our society systemically prevents certain groups of people from gaining access to this necessary social capital.
You saying this crash was somehow caused and the result of diversity hiring, and what evidence have you seen to support these claims?
It just could have been. We have a high standard. We've had a much higher standard than anybody else. And there are things where you have to go by brain power.
President, you have today blamed the diversity elements, but then told us that you weren't sure that the controllers made any mistakes, and then said perhaps the helicopter pilots were the ones who made the mistakes.
It's all under investigation.
I understand that. That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense.
Do you have a plan to go visit the site or meet with any of the
I have a plan to visit, not the site, because you tell me what's the site? The water?
Or to meet with the first responders.
It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured. Thank you.
You guys are going to shit when you hear this. This is the audio between the medevac pilot and the tower at Mark 57. Tell me what you think he says. My mind's blown. You're not going to believe it. Watch.
Medevac, med service 056, on departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff, wind 25010. Medevac, med service 056, affirmative. On departure, turn right heading 290, runway 24, clear for takeoff. Medevac, med service 056, contact Philly departure 123.8. 123.8, Mike Tango Sierra 056, Medevac. Thank you, good day. Medevac med service 056, Northeast Tower, contact Philly 123.8. Medevac med service Northeast Tower. Medevac med service 056, Northeast Tower, you on frequency? Medevac Mike Tango Sierra 056, Northeast Tower, how do you hear this transmission? Medevac med service 056, Northeast Tower.
It's coming up.
56098 Foxtrot, Northeast Ground, Roger. Stand by one. I'll get back to you when I can.
Something's not right. Something's not right.
Approach runway 24. What's going on down there? Position 755. We have a lost aircraft. We're not exactly sure what happened, so we're trying to figure it out. For now, the field is going to be closed, so no inbounds or outbounds probably.
Lleva quita.
Oh, my mind! Relax! Oh!
Like, why are all these plane incidents happening? Do they always happen and just for some reason they're showing us everything? I mean, the end of last year, we had the drones and the orbs in the sky. Beginning of the year, we had the attacks, the wildfires. Now planes are all over the news. There's something new every day with the airplanes. And then we got a clip from Leave the World Behind that was produced by a big time president showing plane incidents. It's just too much coincidences to not be something to look into. Human remains. Now, I used to work for LabCorp, and I would pick up at the airport in the cargo area. And you'd be surprised how many people from funeral homes are nonstop to the airport, picking up corpses to take back home to the funeral homes. I saw it all the time. At first, I was like, damn, like, I never really thought about, they got to fly their loved ones, home if something happens, but it happens very often.
You can't make this shit up.
Here's another
Just
one.
had to evacuate the plane because the tire blew as we took off. This is a United flight. We are on the fucking runway. Oh my God.
Dodged a bullet.
I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of the cartel or anything with the ICE or the mass deportations or anything. And this is Mexico, and I don't know. That fucking plane sounds like it was hijacked to me. When you hear pretty clearly you're fucking with the wrong people from the pilot. And also, not so clear, a muffled help me. I didn't even think about the cartel. I didn't even think about the deportations and how this could be some sort of act of terror or just a hijacked plane or even not a hijacked plane. I don't know. I also find it very strange, and maybe it's not strange, but all 6 of those people were from Mexico. All 6 of them, it was the mom and daughter, obviously, the pilot and co-pilot, and then it was a doctor and a nurse. Why were a doctor and a nurse from Mexico working in a Philadelphia hospital? Or they weren't working in the hospital. Maybe they were just on the plane for the transport. But the girl was supposedly, she finished her treatment, whatever it was for. So why would there even be a doctor and a nurse on the plane with her? I don't know. That sounds weird. Maybe I'm wrong, because that's not exactly my wheelhouse. Now I'm spiraling on this cartel thing. Just speculation from another point of view. Carry on.
I'm not thinking it was cartel activity, but what we didn't hear on that recording earlier, he did say you're effing with the wrong people or the wrong person, something like that. But for them to take out young ones and all that, I don't know. I don't see cartel activity doing that. But what do I know, But here's the clip right here. This is what's happening right now. This was from Barack and Michelle Obama. This is to a T what is happening.
Breaking.
And not only that, but there's other things from that movie that has happened to do with animals, to do with drones, to do with cargo ships. It's like we're in a twilight zone, y'all. What do you guys think? I just think there's just too much stuff going on for us not to ask these types of questions, because you put it in the movies, less than a year later, these things are coming true and happening in real life. Real life's getting lost because of these things.
News. The Army is stating that the Black Hawk helicopter that crashed into the American Airlines flight was practicing some type of doomsday training. The Army's helicopter was performing doomsday training when it collided with the jet above Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. According to the new report, the helicopter was flying a route that's part of a military plan to evacuate senior government officials to safety if the U.S. is attacked. Reuters reports the military mission is known as continuity of government and continuity of operations.
If an airplane is about to crash for any reason, it's almost impossible for the passengers on board to survive. Whether it's business class or economy, passengers are not given parachutes. This is the reason over 100,000 people have lost their lives in plane crashes so far. But now, this could soon change, as an engineering team is working on detachable airplane technology. In this design, the airplane will be structured in such a way that in any emergency situation, the passenger section will detach from the rest of the plane. After this, with the help of 2 advanced parachutes, the passenger cabin can be safely landed on any water or land surface. In this way, passengers will be able to survive without any harm. What do you think about this design?
I'm nice.
Well, you would have thought that would have been done a long time ago. It's 2025, and all you're really using is parachutes and some inflatable like bumper type things. You think that would have been done a long time ago. It's not like some advanced brand new technology you got to come up with to do that. Parachutes pretty much.
Sure, there's something huge going on in the skies right now. I'm sure a lot of y'all have to feel it, and there's a lot of things going on while other incidents happen. Everything I'll be showing you in this video just happened, and wait until the end. You're not even going to believe what I caught in the last great incident. And yes, it has a lot to do with the Dior bags, which we've been seeing in the sky heavy, and we've been seeing them give birth to smaller bags, which is exactly what these helicopters were chasing. And even behind these helicopters, there were more Dior bags. So let's really get into it. The last month straight, I've showed you this exact thing in the sky in different places all over the earth. Sometimes this thing will move, and the same thing, regardless where it's recorded, is always the same, some bigger, some smaller, and it turns in a clockwise formation. Is this not a huge craft? Remember, this was the premeditated Super Bowl commercial in 2024. I believe this is a craft, and I believe that this is where the Dior bag is coming from. It'll all make sense with everything happening right now in 1 second, and I think that that's why these people are so interested in these Dior bags. We also know that these Dior bags can self-replicate or give birth to new ones, and I've actually seen it personally in the real world, along with 2 eyewitnesses, and they can transform into different shapes and things. This was the thing that just happened in Philadelphia. Watch closely right here. What was that speck?
Yeah, there was
this speck right here is going down, and it appears out of nowhere and then vanishes. 2 words, Dior bag. Slow motion. And right after PA, this guy had seen another one that randomly happened. I'm sure you've already seen it.
But another went down. And I turn this around, yeah. Another plane went down Roosevelt Mall. It's a Macy's right there on
Did y'all see how the electricity was glitching? Tell me why there's videos all over the internet of electricity glitching right now. Did you know that spiritual things affect electricity? Y'all, something is up right now, and I just feel it. If you're feeling a little weird about this, give me your thoughts in the comments. And TikTok, leave this video alone. Nothing is shocking content. People are telling me every single day they can't comment, they can't share. Let me know if you can comment and share.
Like, I forgot all about those Super Bowl commercials where UFOs were the focal point. You see what I'm saying? How they're telling us, and they're not even hiding it, but we're just overloaded with so much stuff that I can only speak for myself. I forgot all about that. I forgot all about the UFO commercials at the Super Bowl. I think this Super Bowl this year, I don't know, y'all. I think something is fin to pop off. Something is fin to happen. I hope not, but the way things have been happening this year for that big high energy event, I guess we'll see, y'all. Countdown to Sunday.
Why is Jaden Smith wearing a black house on his head at the Grammys? If you know what is exactly going on here, because these people in Hollywood constantly do this stuff over and over and over. These people in Hollywood constantly put themselves through stuff like this over and over and over, so people can pretty much make a joke. If you know what I mean. If you know, you know. This is humiliating is what this is. And this is the purpose of this? What do you all think about this? What do you think this could mean? Because honestly, no normal person is going to put a house over their head and think that's cool. Hollywood is very, very strange. And this is very, very strange at the Grammys. This is some weird stuff, man. What do you all think?
This has got to be the weirdest thing I have ever seen. We have come to a point where fashion is literally not even wearing anything, because Kanye West showed up with Bianca Censori, his wife, and she took off her robe and just showed the world everything, and all the cameras and everyone is just acting normal, like this is an everyday thing, and she's just strolling around the Grammys currently with no clothes on. I mean, at some point we have to draw the line. This is shortly after Kanye went on a rant on X talking about clones and saying some of the most absurd things I have ever heard. You can go check that out on his X if you want. But I knew something weird was going to happen at the Grammys, and it hasn't even started yet, so I'm going to keep you guys updated. But we are living in some really weird times.
The Grammys, I was watching a little bit. My mama bear was, watching them on and off, and there were some weird things. A Lady Gaga performance, she was like dressed in all red and had like black people dressed in all black around her dancing. I was like, damn, that looks demonic. And Beyonce didn't even look like Beyonce. She looked like, I don't know if she aged 30 years or what. And then Kendrick Lamar won, the best song of 2024 or whatever. And the one part they played while he was walking up to the stage was the part where he's talking about a PDF file. Like, out of all the parts of that song, like, why would you play that part of the song? And also, people were like, when Miley Cyrus introduced Kendrick Lamar, she's like, I'm probably gonna just say Beyonce still, or something like that. Like, she mentioned Beyonce, like, I'm gonna say I should be saying Beyonce right now, or something like that. And then, like, the person that introduced Beyonce for the best country album was Taylor Swift. Like, it was just too much, like, stage demonic lyrics that were on the songs that were playing when he walked up there. Was about PDF files. Like, it was just a whole bunch of weirdness at those Grammys. Did you guys notice anything? Did I miss out on anything? Because I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched a little bit on and off. I was on YouTube on my phone, and I would just look up when I heard something. But a lot of crazy, weird things happened during those Grammys.
If you say like 2040, probably there are more humanoid robots than there are people.
So anywhere over 10 billion. Yeah.
Yes.
And your price point on these humanoid robots?
Yeah, the price point will be, I think, quite low. Probably $25,000 for a robot that can do anything. I think if you say like 2040, probably there are more humanoid robots than there are people. Probably there are more humanoid robots than there are people.
Well, there goes our jobs. And by 2040, by the time my son starts working, there goes his jobs. I got to teach him young to do something, that a robot can't do. Because by 2040, if there's more robots than people, what do they need us for, right?
Things actually looked when they first came out. Toothbrush now. When first came out. Toilet paper now. When first came out. Toilet now. When first came out.
Outhouse. I still got those.
Flashlight now.
Oh dear. Lantern?
When first came out. TV now. When first came out. Cars now. When first came out. Bike now. When first came out. Pencils now. When first came out. Phones now. When first came out.
These are some of the sugar packets from the plane and some debris, but you can kind of see this little debris field. So I just pulled this out of the river. This is part of the landing gear procedure.
Get in Didn't do a very good job of cleaning up, huh?
Manuals from the plane. Part of the seat, actually. Jesus. I don't know if you can see this, but when you touch this, there's just sheens of oil coming off parts of this plane. So everything is just covered in jet fuel. I'm getting ready to head back upriver, but I just keep finding debris. I think this is a seat. I mean, a window.
Wow.
From the plane, this is definitely part of the seat. Found a lot earlier.
Kind of eerie.
I don't know too many people left that are buying the ancient Egypt. The pyramids were built with lifted stone that weighed tons, thousands and thousands of pounds with sticks.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, people are really beginning to question. You could look at it as an anomaly. And one culture at one point in history said, hey, you know what? We're going to quarry and move 200-ton stones just for the heck of it. But I do think that there are forms of energy that are orders of magnitude more efficient than anything we're using today.
Basically, we're talking about levitation.
I think levitation was probably the scientific reality to ancient cultures.
So how is it that Dick Cheney has Trayvon Martin's heart and black people just now finding out in 2025? Ain't nobody told me nothing.
Is his heart? Good thing.
Bro, can someone please tell me why this whole entire time I thought all of Ethiopia looked like this?
Me too. Everywhere other than the United States,
Bro,
that's what we're
I
taught.
just literally saw a video of what Ethiopia actually looks like. There is no way, bro. Somebody tell me this is fake. Someone tell me this is not real. I'm starting to think we're the third world country, bro. Let me show you. What the Someone tell me that was not real, bro. Tell me that was fake.
I mean, I guess that's why they say it's so important to travel outside of your country because that's what he first said we thought would look. That's what we're taught the rest of the world looks like, other than the United States. When really, we're the ones with all the crime and murders and drugs. And I would like to travel, one day, but it costs money, right? It costs money to travel the world. But it'd be a good experience to get out of the country just to see how different America is. It'd be a good thing. Let me know. Oh, you guys traveled a lot. I'm sure if you have, you've noticed some things that we were taught wrong and misled, right? This next clip, she makes a good point.
For us to be here today is not so much an act of rebellion or an act of anger or even rage, but it's
Not
more
her.
so in solidarity. We need immigrants in this country. Immigrants are some of the most hardworking people.
See, I got to get used to these buttons. I'm sorry. I need to learn the buttons, but 95% of those people are all American, I'm guessing. But what's crazy is I live on the border. I live on a border city, right? Border's 30 minutes from me now where I live now. It used to be like 15 minutes from where I used to live, but we don't see this here. I don't see Mexican flags being flown. I don't see when I go to, Mama Bear's families get together. I don't see the Mexico thing like I used to see in Arizona with people. I would go to their little get-togethers and it'd be all I don't know. It seems like it's I hate to say it, but these democratic cities because Arizona's, switch red, but Maricopa is usually pretty damn blue. And that's where I was at. But I don't see where I'm at now. I don't see the Mexican flags. I don't see I don't see the blue line flags like I did in Arizona. You see them on every house, every corner. I don't see no Mexican flags ever being flown out here. And I'm right here on the border. You just see nothing but American flags and a Texas flag. That's it. So I don't know what it is about these democratic state cities, but it seems like there's so much division over there because all these people that were out there were all, Mexican American probably. So it's just a trip to see that because I always tell my family like I don't see that out here. We don't see no Trump flags. We don't see all we see is American flags and Texas flags. That's it. We don't see the Mexican flag or nothing, which is a beautiful flag. Like I would love to fly that out front because I just think that flag is beautiful. But we don't see that division here being at the border. You don't see it at all. It's so much unity over here. It's crazy.
The fact that y'all will raise a flag
This
to a
song.
place where you don't want to be deported to, but refuse to raise the flag where you want to be, is just downright disrespectful.
Makes
Make it make
sense.
sense.
Doesn't.
It's like, that is the weirdest thing. Keep driving. Is it a drone?
What that is, a kite?
What? Can you keep driving? It looks like an alien.
Looks windy out. Might be a kite. It's a dope kite.
Yep, the U.S. just received a grim death warning for all civilians, as the Philly plane crash may not be an accident, but a dark message for us to get out. People were absolutely terrified after the Philly plane crash was believed to be a dire warning that the U.S. is no longer safe, with many people not only saying the damages are unprecedented and don't seem like it's from a plane, but that we are now all fully under attack. Philly residents leave an eerie forewarning, even calling this a rocket, not a plane.
In my mind, I thought, like, what if the rocket would call it the rocket, right? There's always rockets coming in.
With many others nearby not only saying it sounded like a missile and seemed to have sped up when it came crashing down, but news sites report the aircraft disintegrated mid-air before it touched the ground. But it gets worse as the damages on the concrete were described as a result of the nose of the plane hitting the ground, but experts say it's strange as the nose of the plane is super sensitive and this happens when it just hits birds. Of course, every accident is going to seem strange and these are all just rumors.
And I just want to tell y'all this. Do not go to New Orleans, y'all. Do not go to that Super Bowl. Do not go to that Super Bowl game. I'm telling you this. Do not go to that Super Bowl game, bro. It's too much going on, bro. Wherever the traffic at, wherever there's a lot of traffic at, bro, it's gonna be, I'm telling you. That plane crash that just happened, that was coming from, I think, Candace, whatever it's called, to Philly. And that's like, ain't them the two teams that's finna play at the Super Bowl? Man, bro. It's signs been thrown everywhere, bro. Do not go to the Super Bowl game. Do not go. Do not go to New Orleans.
God forbid something crazy happens, but if it does, with all these coincidences, planes coming from Kansas to Washington to, from from Kansas to Philly and things like that happening, and you guys think there will be something? What do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be some type? The Super Bowl is a high energy event, high energy in the city, around the country. It's just a high energy event, the Super Bowl, whether you're going to watch it or not. It's a high energy, most watched thing on television, probably all year. Do you guys think anything's going to happen? Let me know down below.
Tell me the NFL isn't rigged without telling me the NFL is rigged. Please just watch this and you tell me. The Chiefs are minus 9.5 to win the game.
Only 3 to
15
12. You
seconds.
guys can't see it, but so it's a 11-point game. Safety's 2
Just
points.
kneel down. The game's over.
A lot of people
Oh, but
lost
wait.
money.
Bling, 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 bling. Vegas is calling.
It's ridiculous, y'all. I'd be pissed if I bet on this. They're like, I'm about to win, yeah, and then they do this. Not even an accident. He did it on purpose. It wasn't like the snap went
Only
over
win
his
by
head.
9. Even the announcers know. I took his bet.
There are a lot of people who are paying attention to that.
It's not like the snap went over his head or he's laughing too.
You know how many people just lost money?
Al Michaels is smiling right now.
They're laughing.
And they walk into the end zone. It's a pick six, and look at the hit
At the end of this play, right there. This is horrendous right here. I mean,
No flag.
Should have been a 15-yard penalty. That was Patrick Mahomes. Somebody be kicked out of the league. You would have to temporarily leave.
Hey, what I'm about to show y'all is kind of concerning. This means the government may be lying to us. Have y'all ever heard of the autonomous Black Hawk? Check this shit out.
Your eyes are not playing tricks on you. There's no pilot inside this helicopter.
I wonder if they got power back. That was last night. They didn't have power. Or the night before. Crazy things happening, y'all.
I thought the tweet or I thought it was fake. I really did. I had to verify it, then triple verify it. I'm sorry, this is impossible. This is actually impossible. It's not possible. It's actually impossible. Now, there's new information coming out, and it is absolutely impossible to ignore. This tweet from Elon Musk came out last year. This is a Toyota Sequoia. Why is that relevant? This has a collision avoidance system. You're telling me a Toyota Sequoia can avoid a crash, but the most sophisticated helicopter on the planet, equipped with the same system but 30,000 times better, flies directly in to a flight, killing everybody instantly. Now, this is 812-1 Lawton Street, and according to the flight path that's no longer available, the Black Hawk helicopter took off from this address. That house is owned by the Embassy of Saudi Arabia. For those of you not doing the math, allow me to help you. There is a 0% chance that a Black Hawk helicopter equipped with a collision avoidance system flies directly into a plane on a crystal clear night.
How many shots were fired? 3. Any of them fired at me?
No, there was no.
All 3 at the president?
All 3 at the president, and we have them. 2 of the shots fired at the president were splinted, but they had characteristics on them so that our ballistic expert was able to prove that they were fired by this gun. The third shot, which hit the president, he was hit by the first and the third. The second shot hit the governor. The third shot is a complete bullet that wasn't shattered, and that rolled out of the president's head. It tore a large part of the president's head off. And in trying to massage his heart at the hospital, on the way to the hospital, they apparently loosened that, and it fell onto the stretcher, and we recovered that. And we have that, and we have the gun here also.
Were they aiming at the president?
They were aiming directly at the president. There's no question about that. This telescopic lens which I looked through, it brings a person as close to you as if they were sitting right beside you. And we also have tested the fact that you could fire, those 3 shots were fired within 3 seconds. There's been some stories going around in the papers and so forth that must have been more than one man, but because no one man could fire those shots at the time that they were fired. We've just proved that by the actual test that we've made.
How did it happen? They hit Connolly.
Connolly turned to the president when the first shot was fired, and I think in that turning, it was where he got hit.
For a man who's not religious, it sure seems like he knows a little bit about the Bible. I remember when Elon Musk tweeted this, and I thought this was very wild. It was in May of 2022. Elon Musk tweeted, "Thank you for the blessings, but I'm okay with going to hell if that is my destination, since the vast majority of humans who have ever lived will be there." Even if you search it up on Google, AI overview will tell you that yes, Elon Musk has said that the majority of humans who have ever lived will be in hell. He made these statements in a cryptic tweet about his own death. This is the crazy part. His mother May responded with anger saying, "That's not funny," and Musk replied, "Sorry, I will do my best to stay alive." Oh, I bet you will with those robots and those, you upload Neuralink and human consciousness and all this. I bet you will try your best to stay alive because you know who you are. The biggest thing I want to talk about is the fact that he knows that the Bible talks about the road that leads to that destruction is broad, and many people will enter through that gate. But it says on the other side, the road is narrow and the gate is small and few people will enter through that gate. It constantly talks about how more people will find themselves in eternal destruction than with the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and with the Father. And so if you don't have your life right with Christ, I urge you to get it right with Christ. Not because it's fear-mongering or anything like that, but I'm saying this is probably one of the most evil people in the world, and he's telling you he's evil. So is he fear-mongering you too? Don't tell me he's fear-mongering you, because he doesn't love God, obviously, so he can't be fear-mongering you. We both can't be fear-mongering you. So choose this day who you will serve, okay? You can't have two masters, okay? Turn your life over to Jesus Christ. He is Lord and Savior. He is returning. He is coming back, okay? That is the message.
So what? So that's the guy that did that salute on stage. I wasn't around to post that because I would have went off on that. I was, having a baby at that time, so I didn't really get into the inauguration. But a lot of people, all my comments, stood up for that. Stood up for him, saying, "Nah, it's how you used to pledge to allegiance when they were young. That's you giving my heart out to you." I heard Joe Rogan make a bunch of. That's a grown man. That's a grown man. That's smart. The smartest man alive, right? That we say. He knows what he's doing, y'all. Stick up for that. I can't stand Elon Musk. I get a lot of comments of a lot of people that agree with me, but I also get a lot of comments that, people actually made excuses for the grown man doing that salute, the smartest man in the world, doing that salute on that type of stage, knowing what the other side says Trump believers believe in. I mean, I know this. I wouldn't do something like that because I know what that's going to look like to the other side and how they're going to run with it. And I barely graduated high school, right? I can't stand them, y'all. If you can't tell.
If we charge, instead of the 2% to get the 80 billion, what if we said moving forward across the board is 25%? That's $1 trillion per 25%. 50% is another $2 trillion in income. That's money. And I can bring it down for you and I that we're buying stuff here so we can go back down to 0% taxes when it once used to be unconstitutional. According to the Supreme Court,
This guy stuck up
to
for him
tax
too.
you and I, it was unconstitutional. Now you see the concern and the benefits of using tariffs.
We like them no more either.
Kids and getting them to the grade to in turn give them to the Alpha Draconans?
That's right. That's part of the deal. They won't come up as long as we feed them down there. You understand? It's about human beings selling themselves out.
So whoever this is under this flag is being moved from a hearse to an ambulance? Did they wake up again? Who is this? Why are they under a flag? And why is everybody saluting? I have so many questions.
I don't know what that was from. Was it from one of the plane crashes?
These music executives were vacationing in Barbados and they saw Rihanna and her friends on the beach and approached her, but she was a teenager and she was able to leave Barbados with these to go to New York City, where they kept her in the room for 24 hours straight and signed her on the spot. It's hard for island girls to actually leave the island. So who paid money for this girl to leave?
If humans evolved from apes, why do apes still exist? If Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, then who took the famous photo of his arrival? How is it possible that NASA lost the recordings of the moon landing, one of humanity's most important events? And why haven't we gone back to the moon? Why did 56 countries sign a treaty restricting access to Antarctica? What are they protecting there? How did ancient civilizations build perfect, geometrically precise structures without advanced machinery? And why do some Egyptian artworks seem to depict spacecraft? Why do dragons appear in myths worldwide and even get mentioned in the Bible? And what's the connection between pine cones and Egyptian art and the pineal gland in the human brain? Why is the entertainment industry filled with symbols that have demonic connotations? And why in such an advanced world do we face more obesity, cancer, and depression than ever before?
Americans were being squeezed, and he was right about that. And you should understand that we're still in that situation, and Mr. Trump is president because of it. Here's how it works. Every empire, as it goes down, has the following procedure of handling it. The people at the top, the rich and the powerful, respond to the decline by saying, oh, this is terrible, but not for me. The top always offloads the difficulties and burdens of a decline onto those people less powerful and less rich than themselves. The emperor in Rome didn't suffer the way the average people did. The emperor in Persia or the emperor in Greece, it doesn't matter. All the empires show the same phenomena. Those at the top hold on, work harder than they used to hold on because they know damn well it's going down. And who can't do that are the people who don't have much power and the people who don't have much wealth. And so the working class has to be, one way or another, squeezed as you go down. And we, you, me, we're all being squeezed. And in our naivete, we turn to the Republican and Democratic Party. Protect us. They can't. Oh, they'll tell you whatever you want to hear. You know that. We live in that. But they can't do anything. Because the only real thing to do would be to say honestly to the people, well, our empire's going down, it's going to be a hard thing, and maybe we all ought to get together to try to get through this difficulty together. Oh, that would be an interesting idea. Would have a name like, I don't know, socialism. That would be rational. But we don't live rational. How do you squeeze the mass of people? A lot of ways. It's a little bit like that famous poem, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. How am I going to screw the working class? Let me count the ways. So for 40 or 50 years, we make sure that unions can't function. They can't do what they were invented to do, help the workers get a better deal. Not going to get that. We're going to demonize unions. We're going to make every union look like it's, that movie On the Waterfront, a bunch of crooks that are grabbing your dues every week, et cetera, et cetera. You've been living your life in that kind of an environment. It's changed the last few years as working people begin to get it. And they are. That's part of what this meeting is a sign of. Beginning. The Starbucks workers are beginning, and the Amazon workers are beginning. The labor movement is kind of coming back to life. But it's coming late in the process of squeezing the working class. Here's another way you squeeze the working class. You have this thing which you say is some kind of mystery. It's called an inflation. So, what? An inflation sounds like something you do to a balloon. What is an inflation? In economics, it just means prices are going up.
On homelessness, we now know, because the state audit came out, $24 billion on homelessness since Gavin took office in 2019. Tucker, homelessness in California increased by 40% under Gavin. It's such a curious mystery as to we spent all this money on homelessness, and yet it just increased.
The Trumps have a job to complete that was predicted over 100 years ago. Not to destroy or save the United States like most think. According to this mysterious book called The Last President, their purpose runs much deeper. This book was written by Ingersoll Lockwood, a Freemason. The book is part of a chilling series about Baron Trump, a young boy on bizarre adventures filled with hidden truths and strange prophecies. Get this, he lived in a tower called Trump Castle. What's truly unsettling are the eerie parallels between these books and the events we're living through today. Were these stories a wild coincidence, or was Lockwood trying to show us something far bigger?
You get taxed on what you own, you get taxed on what you buy, and you get taxed on what you own. And it's like, okay, this is taxes, 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 and and then what does it get spent on? A bunch of the stuff you get spent on you don't even agree with. So that's why we need to reduce the size of government and just spend less money and let the people keep a lot more of their hard-earned money. So.
I don't care.
What is doublespeak? Doublespeak is language designed to evade responsibility, make the unpleasant appear pleasant, the unattractive appear attractive. Basically, it's language that pretends to communicate but really doesn't. It is language designed to mislead while pretending not to. Is it done consciously? Oh, yes, very consciously. Doublespeak is not a slip of the tongue or mistaken use of language. It's exactly the opposite. It is language used by people who are very intelligent and very sophisticated in the use of language and know that you can do an awful lot with language.
Who's the worst offender?
In sheer bulk?
Yes.
Sheer numbers of examples? The government. If we count government from the local level all the way up to the federal level, I had to stop writing the chapter on government doublespeak. It was going to take over the whole book. But interestingly enough, and this was a revelation in doing the book, about a half a step behind comes business with a tremendous amount of doublespeak.
This is big news. Ukraine's President Zelensky did an interview today talking about the billions of taxpayer dollars that the United States has given to Ukraine. But he says that they never received $100 billion of it. He says that the United States and Congress approved $177 billion, taxpayer dollars, to give to Ukraine for various programs, social reasons, business reasons, and fighting Russia. But yet they only received $77 billion. And that mysteriously $100 billion is missing. He said, quote, "I don't know where all this money is." And this is obviously concerning for many reasons. Who has this money? And why is Zelensky bringing this up now? If you were expecting $100 billion and you didn't get it, why didn't you say anything in the past? So my question to you is, where do you think this money is? As always, I want to hear down below.
Oh, he bit the hand that fed him. It's out here even got me 70 billion, but you didn't give me 100, so I'm gonna expose everything. But look what happens. Trump's been in what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Zelensky's over here saying, hey, we were supposed to get 177 billion. We only got 77 billion. That last president, that last team you had in there, they did something with this 100 billion, pretty much. And it's just swept under the rug. No one's talking about it. Nothing. 100 billion, y'all. That can change every American's life. That 100 billion, that who knows where it's at. Probably 100,000 to each American over 18. 100,000, I'm guessing. And you still probably have some money left over. But it just went to some people's pockets. The rich get richer, poor get poor.
Speaking of stuff in the sky, though, News Nation, they had a whistleblower by the name of Jacob Barber. He was on one of the retrieval teams for UAPs and UFOs. And they showed a video of them picking up a UAP that was literally looked like a giant egg.
And this thing was just sitting out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
How'd they know about it?
This is the crazy part that he talked about.
Probably is
They're
an
called
egg.
psionics, which are basically the Stargate people. Remember Stargate from CIA, where they could see where certain stuff is? So they're called psionics, and they use psychic ability to find and summon UFOs.
Dude, this is what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
And the guy's like, well, what do you say to people that say, like, this is the craziest? Like, I don't know about that. The guy's like, it's 100% real. And he's like, in fact, every retrieval mission that they went on, they were within like a 300-foot area where the psionics said that it was going to be at.
Dude, that's not good.
You can call me crazy, but there is one pattern that I've noticed in this month of January 2025. The attack in New Orleans was perpetrated by someone from the U.S. military. Then right after that, we had the situation in Las Vegas, the Cybertruck outside of the Trump Towers that went boom. And that too was conducted by somebody that was in the U.S. military. And then there was these Humvees that were stolen from a military base this month. And I think there was some equipment that they took with it too. The person has been apprehended. Last night, tragically, we saw a U.S. military helicopter fly into a commercial plane. If you know me, I'm just a person that notices patterns for whatever reason. And this string of U.S. military, like, you know, being evident in all of three of these big situations is just kind of weird to me. And this is no disrespect to anybody that has served in the military. I have friends that currently serve and have served in the military. I just found this to be a weird coincidence. And I guess I needed to say it because it's just one of those things that just keeps going round and round in my head for whatever reason.
The Grand Canyon, one of the world's wonders. There's a theory that the Grand Canyon holds something that none of us knew was there. So back in the 1850s, right? The Grand Canyon was used to mine gold.
Okay.
Did you know that? Now, the Grand Canyon, when people started mining it, the gold index crashed because they found so much gold there.
Okay.
Now, what happened was the government and the military, they closed it off and they made it a sanctuary so that nobody can just go there and then take whatever they want. But there was this one guy, his name was Seth Tanner, and he was an explorer. He explored this one cave in the Grand Canyon, and he claims what he saw was ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics in one of the caves.
Well, what did it say?
Now, the theory is that the Grand Canyon, it actually holds the lost city of El Dorado.
What?
Like, you know, the lost gold city of El Dorado.
Yeah, the whole city.
The whole city. So if you think about it, it's never found. That ancient tale that all of the natives talk about, the lost city, the gold city, is never found. Now, the theory is that it's literally in the Grand Canyon, deep in these caves. And the reason the government and the world is trying to keep it a secret is because it would crash the gold price. Like, gold would be useless if they find that much gold.
Chuck Schumer just got on TV right now. This is live. And he told America by holding up Corona, lime, and talking about avocados just in time for the Super Bowl next week that the Trump tariff is going to cost them $1,200 per year. I want to know, where was this concern for the American civilian and their spending over the last 4 years? Where was that? But the Democratic Party is now going to tell you everything that Trump does is going to cost you money. But everything they did over the last 4 years, completely ignored. We're talking about Corona beer. We're talking about limes. We're talking about avocados. And this guy's going to get up on TV now and tell you that he suddenly cares about your spending.
That's funny.
He's a liar.
They found in vape juice things that are banned from household cleaning products. So it's like,
yeah, so put that in your mouth.
Put that in your mouth and then
breathe it
inhale
in
it.
all day
Superheated.
long.
Yeah.
I don't get it. We're worried about who people are sending out, but we're not worried about what's been coming in.
People don't care about that. It's not the cool thing to talk about.
I'm curious.
They can't go out and protest about that.
Everybody's talking about what's going out, but is anybody worried about what's coming in?
Not until it affects them.
Yeah, I don't need to have a feeling about it. But what I was saying is if I ever go to a country where I'm not a citizen of, and they say, hey, you gotta go. Looks like I gotta go. I don't work at the White House. I don't have a job in politics where I'm making policy. I'm an advocate and I speak out publicly and I'm a public figure.
His name was Randy Anderson, Green Beret, and he was at this training ground. They walked him to this room, and on a plaque, it said off-world technology.
Oh my gosh.
He looked at the other Green Beret guy, and they're both like, what the heck, dude? And he said, we walked in, first thing that we saw was this metallic orb thing just hovering. And he said the only way I could describe it is like there seemed to be like almost like a field around it, like a mirage, just like. And then there's this other thing that he walked up to, and he said the only way he could describe it is like it looks like you would place your hand in it and like grab it like a shield. And then he said there's like this pad on it. It was like crystal, but it looked like it would display numbers or something.
A screen or something.
Like a digital panel, but glyphs. But then he said all of a sudden these things started popping up on it. He said the only way I can describe it is it looked like Egyptian like hieroglyphics.
Oh my gosh.
He said I kind of like froze, and one of the head guys was like, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah." and didn't ask questions about it. And
Ask
they like,
questions.
You're not allowed to.
Do it anyway. All right, so this is pretty crazy. This video that you're watching above me was released a few days ago by Deep Robotics, which is one of China's premier robotic technology manufacturing companies. And it is of the Lynx that they carry, their Lynx model, which is an all-terrain robot that boasts a compact and agile design with exceptional adaptability to diverse terrains. And as you can see, it's capable of basically doing backflips like a gymnast. It's pretty insane. This is not AI, by the way, because there's no way that you could use like the terrain flying around it and stuff, and the water and the snow is too crazy for computers to be able to like recreate, because it would still seem off. So this is real video above. Apparently this thing can climb platforms that are up to 80 centimeters in height. It can reach speeds of up to 5 meters per second and can navigate continuous 22 centimeter steps. It's also got a 1080p sensor and camera. Plus, one of the things that they're talking about, that they're bragging about, is the fact that you have hot swappable batteries. So if the battery's about to die, which the batteries have around 3 hours life, you can just unplug that battery and plug a whole new one in, rather than having to plug it into a wall and charge up. The standing size of this particular model is 0.8 meters by 0.5 meters by 0.6 meters, and it weighs a total of 30 kilograms. Now, I know what you're thinking. When are they going to start mounting machine guns on it? Well, who says they haven't already?
Yeah.
Something big is going down on Wall Street, and they're doing their baby Jesus best to make sure we are too distracted to hear about this. Bank of England has been caught with their knickers down.
Hanging out.
Gold
No,
shortage was
my
uncovered
rolls.
because the withdrawal time went from 1 single day to 8 weeks. That's how short they are on gold. Where did it all go? Well, it's all been shipped to New York. The question is, why? They're saying because there are tariffs on gold, but President Trump never did that when he was first elected in 2016, and it hasn't happened again. So what tariffs are they speaking of? And the math is still not mathing, because 393 metric tons were sent to New York. However, what was supposed to be in the Bank of England were 5,000. So someone isn't being truthful about where the gold is or why it was sent and what is happening. It means the gold that we now have in New York is more than we had in 2020. Something is coming. What do the powerful know that we don't?
I think they had the fog coming in, and they wanted to see if they could distribute a disease that way. And so they spread a disease aerially to see how many people were infected. Let's find out how we could be vulnerable to a bioweapon on our citizens, and to protect them, we will use a bioweapon on our citizens.
Color therapy is the original way in which they used to heal people. They used to put people in front of different colored glass, and they would begin to heal. And what they would do is they would target a different meridian line with the different color of glass, and that would allow people to heal. A lot of times when you go down to the south, you see blue stained glass windows. Those blue stained glass windows were actually very healing. People would sit in front of that, and it would charge them up. It would invigorate the cells, because as that sun hit that blue glass, it would make them heal. And it's interesting because we think about stained glass windows. Remember stained glass windows? You go over to all the cathedrals and they got stained glass windows. Well, each color spectrum heals each different meridian line. Look at that. It's not just by chance, that's for sure. Everything is related to energy, and everything is related to different colors. And when we expose ourselves to different colors, we begin to heal. And this is what Edwin Babbitt was learning in the 17 and 1800s when you go back into his work. He would heal people using all different types of color spectrums. And as somebody just said below, prisms are like chandeliers. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Prisms are very healing. If you would like to structure something, you would use a prism.
So you can sit there and be dumb all you want to be. Before they was able to get them bodies out the water, we already knew they was talking to one of the ladies' husbands when that plane went down in the Hudson. I'm prior military, and other prior military people are saying the same thing. That looked like a missile. Airplanes do not explode that big. They showed the aftermath, which made a crater. However, I didn't see not one plane part. On top of which, we ain't told nobody rested no damn pigs. Ain't said nothing. Them people names was out within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, we was already getting rest in peace such and such for the ice figure skaters and all of that. Believe what you want to. You can stay asleep if you want to. I'm telling y'all that was a missile.
Look like
I'm telling you. Period. Do not be a dum-dum. Don't be stupid. Because if you're not built from there, I know you hard and you go fight her and go fight him and all that. But don't be dumb. Because this not what you want. This ain't it. You don't know nothing. I don't even know nothing about war. So don't play like you so hard for war.
This is kindergarten in China. What do I'm all for kids learning what 2 plus 2 is, right? But I think a little bit of that, a lot of that needs to be put into the school system. As you get older, a lot of, teaching kids how to invest, teaching kids how to, deal with bills and doing all these things. Like they don't teach us these things. There is no, well, I guess there is a reason they don't want it. But like when you go to your job and you're sitting there at orientation at HR, they tell you, let's do your, your 401k and stuff, but they don't tell you, put this into an S&P 500 and just for the 30 years you're here, put 200. When you retire, you'll have $2 million, right? Just off the top of my head. They don't tell you that. They tell you, put it in, it's pretty much a savings, 3% interest rate, high yield savings account. You put I wish they would teach these kids. I guess that's where parents come in, where you have to do the knowledge for your kids and teach them, because I know I am, but I wish they would teach these things in school and make school more fun. I mean, if school was like that for me growing up, I would have been there every day. I couldn't stand school. I did not like school from kindergarten to senior year. I did not like it. But if school was like that, I think I would have liked it a lot more.
What the fuck?
Stop. No,
Stop.
I'm not. No.
Yeah, I'm driving. I ain't stopping.
Fuck, dude.
No.
You guys stopping?
See? That was it. That was it. She's crying.
A late-night drive takes a chilling turn as this user encounters something unsettling on a desolate road. In the dim headlights, a mysterious figure comes into view. A woman, soaked from head to toe, standing eerily still by the roadside.
What the heck is this?
The tension inside the car is palpable. A few passengers urge the driver to stop and check on her, but one voice firmly objects, no. As they pass, some notice her odd, almost mechanical movements. She seemed to shift positions unnaturally, from one side of the road to the other. Was she crying, waving, or perhaps doing something far more sinister? The unease grows as the driver speeds away, leaving the chilling figure behind in the shadows. After the video was posted, the internet exploded with theories. Some suggested it was a trap, a ploy used by criminals to lure unsuspecting drivers. Others were convinced it was something paranormal, perhaps a skinwalker, a ghost, or even La Llorona herself. Skeptics, however, dismissed it as nothing more than a coincidence or a stranded hiker. But one detail stands out: her strange, jerky movements and the way she seemed to glide. Livid Linguine later revealed that police were contacted, but the mystery remains unsolved. What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
The second most toxic thing in your house is a microwave oven. A cordless phone is number one, followed by a close second, a microwave oven. Because remember, you're only getting radiation on the microwave oven when you turn it on. The cordless phone is 24/7. I have never tested a microwave oven that did not emit significant amounts of radiation. Because the seals, when you keep opening the door, the seals get disrupted and that radiation leaks out when you're cooking. The worst thing in the world is when a young child looks inside a microwave oven when the radiation is going on. I showed sensors next to a microwave oven, and the sensors go off the chart, just being near a microwave oven. So not a good thing to have in your house, not a good thing to cook food with, warm food with, boil water with.
The U.S. figure skaters that died in 1961 crashed while approaching the airport, the Brussels airport in Belgium. The same way that these people passed away last night, approaching the airport, they died in the same way. And get this, literally in Belgium, last night, like after this crash happened, all of the air traffic control suffered a glitch at the fucking Brussels airport.
So her theory on this being some type of like paranormal, supernatural kind of event, it's not off. Like, she's totally correct. Like, check this out, guys. This is kind of creepy. You can actually see this in the astrological charts. Like, this is the actual date and time of the first crash back in 1961. It was a new moon in Aquarius, just like this crash that happened not 2 days ago. And here's what really gave it away. You see that South Node is in Pisces. This is the crash that happened 2 days ago. Look at the new moon in Aquarius. Look at the North Node in Pisces, which in the other chart, it was a South Node in Pisces, which is a nodal reverse, which is basically karma going back to finish or accomplish some type of energy. So when there's a nodal reverse in the sky, it literally means reconnecting spiritually. That's crazy. In the first crash, Mars was also in Cancer. Mars is the planet of machines. Cancer is kind of weak. It doesn't belong there. When this crash just happened, Mars is in Cancer as well, weak and retrograde. Again, machines being faulty. And if you look at the historical events of when Saturn is in Pisces or when there's North Node in Pisces, there's always ice skating incidents or figure skating incidents. Like, check back out my tweet that I put out back in 2023. It always happened.
So the tariffs are already working. Two of Canada's fastest growing food companies are now planning to move their operations to the United States. You have Midday Squares and Flourish Pancakes, and most of their customers are in the United States. Midday Squares currently has a plant in Montreal, but now they're like, what does Ohio look like? Missouri and Wisconsin. And the owner put it very simply, we need the US as a business. Maybe people aren't understanding, but there's a difference between Canadian politicians and Canadian businesses. The politicians will react one way to the tariffs, but the business people sit down and analyze logically. They're already paying stupidly high corporate taxes in Canada, and if they left and came here, they would save half of their money overnight. Plus, they'll now have free access to the biggest consumer market in the world, and they have a pro-business federal government. Why would you stay in Canada? That's the whole point of President Trump's plan. Guess what's going to happen next? Those car companies that are making their cars in Canada, they're just going to go back to Detroit and make their cars in the United States. And we're not doing this to destroy Canada. We're doing this to level the playing field. They've taken advantage of us for far too long. We've been subsidizing their national defenses and their economies, and it's finally time we put Americans first.
I mean, an easier way to think about it, everything they told us about Trump these 4 years were lies. So what they're saying now, that things are going to be more expensive, judging by how history is and how history repeats itself, things probably are going to get a little cheaper. Anyways, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. We had a long one, hour and 10 minutes, y'all. You got to leave a like for that. I got some things to do. It's funny that before I had the baby, I was nervous. I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to have time to do my YouTube. It's going to be hard to get in here. Since having the baby, I have been way more consistent, way more not last minute. Like before, I wouldn't start finding my clips until like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I didn't start reacting until like 11 in the afternoon. I wasn't done till like 2 in the afternoon. Day's over, right? It's 8 o'clock right now, y'all. Video's done. Just got to edit it. By 10 o'clock, I'm done for the day. Got to go to the bank. Got to go to the grocery store, pick up some things for me and Mama Bear to eat. Today, she's making some bomb chicken with cream cheese and green onions on it. It's delicious, y'all. Delicious. I can't wait. I'm hungry. But enough with the chit chat, y'all. Hope everyone out there has a good Monday. Hope you started off the week right. This is Segovia signing out of the man cave. Hope everyone out there has a good day. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. Later.